Team Janners, what's happening? So I just wanted to do a video today about how there seems to be a lot of influencers online at the moment, and I think they're becoming more dangerous with the message they're giving to younger people. Now, there are a lot of good social influencers that I follow, such as Matthew Hussey, the dating coach. I think he's great. Mel Robbins, Jay Shetty. I think, they're very good influencers and they give a lot of good advice to people. But recently I found a couple of women online. I'm not going to name who they are, but they basically trying to brainwash young women into not wanting careers and saying that they should, their job in life should just be to get married and have children and stay at home and let the man take full control of the finances, and you shouldn't drive and you shouldn't do this, that or the next thing. Now, I personally think this is an extremely dangerous message to send to people. If men or women choose to be stay-at-home parents, that's great, and I highly commend people that do that. I've got a lot of respect for either sex that does that. But we're born in an age, I'm 44, I was born, in the 1979, and, by the time I grew up, I had a lot of opportunities to have a career. I've seen many, many changes in the world, even in the short time I've been alive. And I just think, women now have a really good chance to make something of themselves, to be successful. 100 years ago, we didn't have that. And, we couldn't, years ago, we weren't allowed to drive and there were so many restrictions. Now we've got all this freedom, which I think is great. We've got the suffragettes to thank for a lot of that. And I just think, trying to brainwash women into thinking they're wrong for wanting a career and having money of their own and, having a life of their own, I think is a really, really bad message to send out to people. Now, if you listen to this, take this advice that this woman was saying. Now, imagine, you get married at 20, you have children, you get to 40, your kids are grown up, and say your husband left you for someone younger, or the marriage broke down. Now, for argument's sake, say you've never worked, you stayed at home, you followed this lady's advice and you did everything that she said. You've never drove, you've never had your own money or worked. You're now suddenly going to be put into a situation where you don't know how to earn money, you don't even know how to pay a bill, you don't even know how to drive, and your whole life is going to, change dramatically and very badly. Now, I think giving anyone that sort of control is dangerous, whether you're male or female. Letting your partner take control of everything is a very, very foolish thing to do. So I do think there are, while, like I said, there are a lot of good influencers, there are some really, really dangerous ones. And I don't know what's triggered this off all of a sudden, why all of a sudden these women are, trying to drag people back to the 1940s, I don't understand it, because, you should be encouraging men and women to be successful, and, have a good life and do what they want, follow their passions, and in a time now where you've got limitless opportunities to really make something of yourself and all the resources available to you. So, yeah, I think, these people really need to, think about the message they're sending out and wonder if, it is a good thing or not, because I personally don't think it is. I think it's extremely dangerous. And if you think back to, the wartime when, men were out fighting and women had to take on men's jobs, had to work in factories and do all the jobs that men did. And, we proved we could do it. We were always capable of doing it, but we just weren't allowed to, because, it was always thought of something that not a woman should do. A woman's place was in the home, bringing up children, cooking, cleaning, and, that was your life. And, back then, women didn't know any better. If I was born in that age, I wouldn't have known any better. It just would have been my life and I would have accepted it. But thankfully now we do have options. We do have, career paths we can take, and we do have opportunities to really, be successful and make something of yourself. So I really don't know, what message these influencers are trying to give, but I just think, you need to be very careful that, who you listen to. And, if you do have young children that are impressionable, then I would be very careful, monitoring what they're watching, and not, tell them not to listen to people like this, because, it's going to lead them down a very dangerous path later in life. Oh, and it's Christmas today, hence the jumper. So, yeah, stay tuned for more videos, and, yeah, watch out for the good and bad people online.